hope is partnering with whatever God is doing in the world to build a new world right in the ruins of the old one. And that's what the book of Acts is. The book of Acts is like, I want you to build small communities around tables instead of the temple, because the temple will be destroyed. And the book of Acts is that expansion of the church into different areas that were centered around tables, and like that whole Eucharist communion thing. Instead of the big temple system, it was focused around community instead of like a caste system. Like slaves were allowed to come in and hang out with like Epicureans, and they were on the same level playing ground, and that was totally radical. Like it was based on inclusion and not hierarchies. It was based on love and not legalism. And the early Christians did that. They built those communities in around tables in small towns all over the place and in big cities too. And then the temple did collapse in 70 AD. Rome came in and flattened the whole thing, just blew the whole place up, burned it to the ground. And the people who stayed, a lot of them died. A lot of them were, it was just bad. But that was not the end of the story of God, because there was a new thing happening all over the place, all over the world, in small locales, in small communities. And so hope wasn't yeah, this is all going to be destroyed, the end. It was, this is all going to fall apart. So we got to get to work on building something new. And so we, like them, are co-authoring the unfolding of the world. Like that's how God actually works. It's not that we just kind of passively sit back and then God comes in and swoops and does the healings and the whatever's. No, I don't think that's how it works. God is the potential in every situation for something better. And then we partner with that potential to make the world better. That's co-authoring our own life and unfolding with God. So sometimes hope is going to look like not just pulling yourself up by your bootstraps and getting it done, nor is it going to be passivity and like, I got to wait for God to rescue me. Sometimes hope is just going to be a day of rest, going to therapy, saying no to a lot of things, be like, no, can't do that today because today is not that day. Sometimes hope looks like, well, today is the day. I got to go fill out job applications, or I got to have these honest conversations, or I got to go get this new training and go to school, or right. Like hope, hope knows the potential of each moment and what is being asked of you, whether it is rest or action. And either of those things are co-authoring what is about to unfold. And wisdom is knowing what moment you're in and then doing something about it. So you don't need divine protection from the things that life is going to throw at you. Like there's just no guarantee that tragedy will or will not hit you. It seems totally random. I do lots of funerals and it just seems random. Like there's no overarching plan that's happening here. But hope is not divine protection. I have a friend who's going through cancer treatments and had a family member say, but with God, his chances are better. And I'm like, well, statistically, no. Like Christians die from cancer at the same rate as non-Christians. Like you look at that and it's just like, no, that's not a true statement. His chances are not better. His chances are his chances. God is going to be with him through it all, but his chances are those chances, right? You don't need divine protection. You need the divine presence that occupies your space with you and then helps you unfold whatever is coming. You don't need rescue. You need resources. Like maybe you need more schooling, education, training, different job, whatever. Hope gives you groundedness in the now to face the reality of what is, but also the imagination to see the potential and the possibility of every moment, what could be. And so those two things partnering together is more of what hope is all about. I like what Thomas Merton said. He said that hope is a lot like despair. And that's really weird saying. But despair, you're looking at a situation and saying, I don't have what I need to get through this, right? Hope acknowledges that. And so hope is a lot like despair, more than it is like toxic positivity. But hope actually has to travel through despair to get to the hope on the other side. You can't bypass your way around despair. You have to travel through it, and hope travels through despair. I like what Howard Thurman says, hope is born when the human spirit confronts despair and refuses to be defeated. That's that's what it's all about there, like a refusal to give up. And so we all have this imagination, like, I just wish the world was this way. Like that's our imagination at work with hope. And if that picture in our mind is grounded in reality, but also the divine presence that occupies the space with us and the potential that exists, we have a more healthy imagination and picture of what the world could be. And then we can actually work with God in the unfolding of the universe. So that is my thoughts on hope. I hope my thoughts on hope were helpful for you. I hope it finds you in a place that is, I don't know what I hope, I guess.